Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my father for all of the abuse he put me through? I, 32F, am in a complicated and emotionally exhausting situation with my family. I've spent most of my adult life avoiding them, building walls so high they couldn't reach me, and yet now, my past is being dragged back into my present whether I like it or not. My father, 55M, is sick. My twin brother, 32M, says he doesn't have much time left. He's been calling me, texting me, telling me over and over that I should talk to Dad before it's too late. He says I'll regret it if I don't. But every time he says those words, I feel the same cold, heavy weight settle in my chest, because he doesn't, or maybe refuses to, understand the truth. I already mourned my father years ago. I grew up in a house where fear was as common as breathing. My father didn't just discipline, he controlled, dominated, and destroyed.
He was a storm you could never predict.
Sometimes he'd explode over the smallest thing, a cup left in the sink, a sigh he didn't like, a door that didn't shut quietly enough. Other times he'd be fine for days, even weeks, lulling you into a false sense of safety before coming down twice as hard the next time. My mother, 59F, was the breadwinner, gone most of the day working. She played the role of the hardworking, selfless mom in public. Behind closed doors, she was a ghost when it mattered most. She claims she didn't see the abuse. I've always believed she saw plenty, she just didn't want to deal with it. The moment that never left me. I was 10 years old. My father was furious that I hadn't cleaned up after my older brother. My brother was perfectly capable, but my father had decided chores were my responsibility. I remember standing in the hallway, hands shaking, trying to explain. He didn't let me finish. His fists slammed into my arms, my back, my ribs. My ears rang from the force. I remember thinking if I cry, he'll hit harder. Then my mother's voice came from the other room. Stop, don't hit her like that. That's what she hasn't asked for. She didn't rush in.
She didn't pull him off me.
She didn't check if I was hurt. She just gave him directions, like she was commenting on a chore being done wrong. That sentence has been carved into me for 22 years. It was the moment I realized no one was coming to save me. Other memories followed me, too. When I was 8, I spilled a glass of milk on the counter. My father didn't hand me a cloth. He told me to lick it up. I had to press my tongue against the sticky surface while he stood over me and laughed. My mother walked past the doorway and kept going. When I was 12, I dropped a plate while washing dishes. My father's grip on my arm left deep red marks that lasted for hours. He dragged me into the dining room and made me kneel on the shards while he told me how clumsy and useless I was. Tiny cuts formed on my knees. I still have faint scars. My mother came in to set the table for dinner and didn't say a word. When I was 14, I got blamed for something my twin brother actually did, breaking a lamp. When I protested, my father locked me in my room for 2 weeks. The only time the door opened was for him to shove in a plate of food. If I needed the bathroom, I had to knock and beg. My mother told me to stop provoking him. When I was 15, I was woken up in the middle of the night because my father decided my room was too messy. He yanked me out of bed by my hair, dragged me to the living room, and forced me to stand there while he listed everything wrong with me. My looks, my grades, my attitude. My mother sat on the couch watching TV, saying nothing. At 16, during an argument about my grades, my father slapped me so hard I fell against the wall. He told me I was lucky he hadn't hit me harder. My mother, sitting in the kitchen, kept eating her dinner. By that age, I had stopped crying when he hit me. I stopped pleading. I stopped looking at my mother for help. I had already learned that the safest way to survive was to stay silent, small, and invisible. Leaving. The day I turned 18, I left. Not just my house, but my entire side of the country. I went as far as I could afford to go, carrying nothing but a suitcase and the determination never to be within arm's reach of him again. For the last 15 years, I've built a life from nothing. I've been in therapy. I've learned how to recognize love when I see it, how to trust people slowly, how to set boundaries. I have friends who feel more like family than my own blood ever did. I've also had to accept that I'll never get the kind of apology or acknowledgement I once hoped for. My mother and I speak occasionally, but our relationship is shallow. She still insists she did nothing wrong and that it was all your father. She refuses to acknowledge that standing by while your child is hurt is a choice, and it's a choice she made over and over again.
Now.
My father is sick. My twin brother, the same one who used to shove me into walls, slap me, and call me names, says it's time to let go of the past and make peace. He says I'll regret it if I don't. But he doesn't understand that I already made peace, the day I walked away. My father has been dead to me for 15 years. The man who hurt me is the same man he's always been. Forgiving him now wouldn't heal me. It would betray the little girl who sat on shards of glass, the teenager who slept with her bedroom door blocked by furniture, the young woman who had to rebuild herself from the ground up because her parents broke her. I've already decided I won't be at his funeral. My absence will be my statement. My brother can call me cold, bitter, ungrateful. I call it survival. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my father? For refusing to reach out now? Or is this the first time in my life I'm protecting myself the way no one else ever did?